I always keep it going a little bit longer than a timer, and then people go, "What's happening? What's happening?"
I couldn't help but crack up that whole time because it just reminded me of whenever we debuted it, and I talked to Wilbon afterwards, and he said it was just like his ears were bleeding from because of how loud and like twisted it is.
I gotta do it.
It's so
we
good.
Don't get copyright flag.
It's so good. I love it. I think everybody's ears should bleed.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, if your ears are bleeding, are you even listening right?
Exactly.
Oh, Commander Cook says, I'm so sorry. Listen. You do not want to see me without a shirt on. It's not.
I don't know. It's on my bucket list.
Well, if we ever share a hotel room, I sleep in my boxers or my boxer briefs. Who wears boxers anymore? It's always boxer briefs are like the best.
Yeah, you got to keep it nice and snug.
It's nice and snug, but still long. Whitey tighties are like too short, too constricting. So with boxer briefs, you get the best of both worlds. You get the long looseness of boxers, but still the snugness of whitey tighties. It's a brilliant invention.
Now we got this rabbit hole. Are you a Hanes or Fruit of the Looms guy?
Oh, honestly, at Target, like whatever's on sale.
Yeah, that's fair. I think most of my stuff is Hanes.
Yeah,
but
I think
I Target whatever's on sale at Target. Yeah,
I got some Champion. I got some Target brand. Ones like whatever the Target brand is. I don't remember what it is right now.
It's Up and Up. Yeah, Up and Up.
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever their brand is, there's always
it's like Goodfellow is always
Goodfellow.
there.
That's it. It's Goodfellow.
Yeah.
It's Goodfellow. Yeah.
Up and Up is like we get glasses,
it's like
cleaner,
food and
wipes.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And favorite day is like food, snacks, stuff.
Yeah.
So weird. And you know what's and all that food, all of that is all white labeled. It's literally the same thing as other stuff, just in a generic box. Because like Target doesn't make anything. Those brands don't exist. Target just goes, hey, we want to sell your stuff but under our brand for cheaper. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they should do with they should just take TVC figures and put them in that like that 4-inch line box.
White labeled TVC figures.
Yeah, TVC figures are just white label McDonald's toys. I mean, if we're being honest.
Wow, I wouldn't be the opposite.
It might be a little harsh.
McDonald's toys be the white label version of TVC.
Yeah, probably. But episode 69, yeah, we're wearing shirts, but we're both wearing cool shirts.
Listen,
as you can see, at
underneath
least.
my clothes, I am naked as the day is long.
Yeah,
Think about
true.
that.
Fair.
Just think about that. Anyway,
You cannot. We need to get a Target deal so you can get our merch at Target.
right? Wouldn't that be cool? That's how you know you made it.
There's like a small demographic of people that would buy this shirt just for, you know.
Well, you know,
figure
'cause,
and
like
over
if you
here.
go to Target, they always have a section with like local school clothing in there. Like I can get
Yeah.
like I can get a
my
local
high school stuff is in there.
Yeah. Which is weird if you think about it. but I can. So like, why can't we get our little Black Series Cantina shirts?
Yeah, at Target, right? That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
The rate, yeah. I like this shirt. This does come through pretty solid.
Yeah.
I was a little
worried about his shirt on the black, and it's fine. Like it looks. The only thing I don't like is this little white spot right here. I always
That
think
bothers me.
I think I have something on my shirt like all the time.
Even on the main logo, I'm just like,
Yeah.
why did they have to make, whoever made this little figure Dan, why did they have to put a little reflective piece on the
a
back
weird
of his
spot,
boot?
yeah. I feel like it would be easy to color correct.
Yeah, I probably could, but then I'd have to correct all the merch at this point, and
Yeah, it's too
You know.
easy. Yeah.
yeah.
I will say I got the regular shirt, and it's a very soft shirt. I like it a lot. It's super soft.
Yeah, I think what I'm going for next is going to be, it's like the light gray or cement gray hoodie.
Yeah.
And I
got a
think
hoodie
that'll go good
too.
with all the
Yeah.
colors.
I should go get the hoodie, but I don't really want to. I did wear the hoodie when I was on Dan Larson's Secret Galaxy stream on last Saturday.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It went pretty well. We had the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom guys on. We were talking about that. I backed it to get one figure because they're making it's like a bird, but it's a bard. So it's like it makes sense, like a bird that sings, and I like that. But it has like a lute that it holds, but that lute turns into like a bow and arrow, and I'm like, I kind of dig that. So they got me
That is pretty cool.
on that, and I wanted to help out because like they seem like cool guys. Although I'll be honest, I have this Animal Warrior of the Kingdom face, the only one I've got. I don't love it. It's not my favorite thing. I probably
Tell
will
them they make
regret-
shitty merch. They make
I don't
shitty
know,
figs.
it's not shitty. It's just not something I like. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, that happens.
You know, there's like a middle ground where it's not bad. I won't say it's bad. It's just not something that I like. There's a difference.
I did want to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
If you looked at our notes, is there anything I missed for the news section?
Right.
I think
We're guys, we're a little behind the scenes here. We all the content for this we've developed in the last hour and a half.
Yeah, look, if I'm gonna be totally honest to our Patreon members, you're gonna be like, you're going into the life. Like literally, not even 2 hours ago, I was shitting my guts in a PetSmart. So this was very last minute. Yeah, It was. We had Arby's. I haven't had Arby's in a long time, and then we were going from Arby's to PetSmart because my wife wanted a fish, so we got like a tank and all that type of stuff.
Oh wow!
And then PetSmart, PetSmart, I could not.
So you just
could
wrecked
not
their
hold it.
toilet. You Arby's their toilet.
Yeah. Yes. And so that's why. Yeah, got home a little late. You reminded me to do notes at like 7:45.
Yeah,
like
just take
20
care of notes
minutes
like
ago.
you always do.
I was like, oh yeah, notes. I
think you got everything.
I think that there's not a lot. I think everything there is there.
Yeah.
So,
what's up, Lance Peter Luke? You weren't on it, but you know what's a fun fact? Our Super Cantina Bros episode is our number 4 all-time episode. That's
the
pretty
one
cool.
with
the one
out of the basement,
out of the basement guys. But seeing Luke just reminded me of that because like he's part of that group, but he wasn't on that episode.
Yeah. Oh, I think we established that like 5 is too many for an audio podcast.
Too many, yeah.
You know, like
Luke sends us a text. He's like, yeah, it's like 1 a.m. or whatever, and I suddenly wanted a Trade Federation Battle Droid blaster. So
and then he's got like a fully painted and 3D. Now he's got a fully,
like less than 12 hours later.
It's so good.
Fully painted. Yeah, it looks good though.
You know, I always look forward to what Lane Speed or Luke text I'm going to wake up to in the morning, because you and him, since you're West Coast, you know, I always wake up and there's like texts at 3 a.m. Yeah. You know, sometimes my wife gets on me because I forget to put it on high notifications before bed.
Oh,
and if y'all start no, it's my fault. If y'all start a conversation in the chat, you know. I have Pletho with a rare pre-show appearance.
What's up, Pletho? Yeah, we got Commander Cook. Of course, we got Wilbon, our super VIP. You know, we got 5 people hanging out with us right now. I'm sure that'll ebb and flow as it goes. But as always, we just want to do a little something. Talk about Zach's.
Gotta warm up a bit.
Talk about Zach's emergency bowel movements in a pet store.
The worst part was I didn't even know if PetSmart had a public bathroom, so we were in there. Like if there wasn't a bathroom in there, I was screwed. I was gonna have to. It was luckily it's a shopping center, so I would have had a couple options. But I don't want to be the guy that's like running into store. Like at least we made a triple-digit purchase. At least, you know, we spent over $100. So I kind of earned the right as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you earned that bathroom break.
But yeah, that's only slightly embarrassing. But that would be the reason that I got home a little late.
That's true. But there's got a point. They got plenty of litter boxes.
Yeah.
just spread some cat litter on the ground. See how well it works for humans. Crawl inside a little litter robot thing.
Yeah, I'd be doing this podcast from a jail.
Honestly, I thought about that because we got one of those litter robot things about just like sticking my ass in it and just like.
Trying to make me spit up water on the pot.
Just see if it works. I don't know.
See how well it works. Jesus.
Yeah, my youngest cat loves she'll set it off just so she can watch it cycle. She just loves watching it cycle, and I know this because it interrupts it because she sticks her head in to watch and it stops, and then the app sends me an alert saying cycle has been interrupted, and like it takes sometimes a half hour for the cycle to complete. It's like a 30-second, 1 minute long cycle, but it takes a half hour for it to cycle because she loves watching it and she interrupts it all the time. It's really annoying.
That's awesome.
Is it awesome? I was just talking about how annoying it is.
No, it's the cat just loves annoying you. So in that way, it's awesome.
Yeah, you got a point.
That's like a goal of an animal. So we got a beta fish that kind of looks heavy metal. It's got like spikes. Yeah. It's more like, rather than feathery, it has more like it has spiky look.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it like a heavy metal influence name. So the name options are Riff. Right now, I think Riff is the number one. You know, like guitar riff. She wants to name him Mosh because it's like a mosh fish in a mosh tank. And we got like black stuff for the tank, you know, make it a little hardcore. And then there's I did what was it? Fish knot, like the blank slip knot, you know, fish knot. Yeah, it's fish knot. There was a couple other ones I came up with.
You could call it fish, but that's not.
Oh,
really
the
death metal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it works. That's not really fish. Yeah, it works though.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any heavy metal beta fish names, drop them in the chat. First, I think we're going with Riff though. I think Riff is the
Riff is pretty good.
Number one right now. So
Riff is pretty good. Cool.
Well, I'm ready for the main pod. If you are,
I'm actually spent. I'm gonna lay down.
Head out. All right. Yeah, I can do the pod solo, I guess.
All by yourself.
I would need ad breaks. bring in advertisements.
Bring in advertisements. Well, thanks for listening. We're brought to you by Better Health. Something I don't know what else. What else do I hear?
We're brought to you by Will Bond's solo VIP show.
Oh, that's true. We are brought to you by Will Bond. Today, we're brought to you by Will Bond and viewers like you.
We are literally brought to you all by the Patreon.
That's true.
Though.
That's absolutely. We're brought to you by Arby's.
God, not today.
Get that roast beef right through you.
Literally.
You don't gain any weight because you lose it as soon as you eat it.
Yeah, I probably lost weight today. That's for sure. That's for sure.
It's good stuff.
You know, I knew I shouldn't have even said anything.
No, but you did, and that's the best thing. But that's what the Patreon intro is for.
That's what the Patreon intro is for.
If you can't talk about stuff like that during the Patreon intro, when can you talk about it?
Yeah, then what are we? Yeah, these are all my best friends in the chat.
That's true.
You know, like, then what are we even here for?
That's
true.
Know? And then a year from now, all the people watching on regular YouTube.
Wait, do they get the Patreon intro too on that? Do you just drop the whole
thing? Yeah. I just make the whole thing live.
Oh, yeah,
because I'm way too lazy to like re-upload it and cut things out. I just make it public.
Yeah, I dig that.
Commander Cook wants to know if you're gonna get any Fortnite skins. I don't.
They advertised it. I haven't played Fortnite in it's been a couple weeks. I need to get back on it.
I don't play Fortnite.
Jump back on the train. You got to hop on it with me, Mike. We can get some dubs together.
I'm not 12, so I don't play Fortnite.
But it's fun.
Burn. Burn.
Well, you're not an adult because you don't play Battlefront either. So
that's true.
You're somewhere in between.
I'm an amorphous, undefined age, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm both young and old. I'm both Generation X and a millennial and Gen Z. I encompass all things.
Yeah. You are the one in the middle.
That's right. I'm the Bendu.
The Bendu.
I'm the Air Bendu. The last Air Bendu.
That's the last Air Bendu.
It's a fart joke.
All right, you ready to kick off episode 69?
Yes. Good Lord. Let's get into it. Thanks for listening to Black Series Cantina. You are currently listening to episode 69. That's the one that comes after 68 and before 70. And it's our sexiest episode yet because numerically it just has to be. We're both basically mentally 12, and that's how it works. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Zach.
Hello there. A very nice episode today that we have for you.
Perfectly legitimate, family-friendly fun. Invite your entire family to listen to this. Please, I want you to
Would not recommend.
I want you to sit down with your grandma. You don't have to explain anything to them. They don't know what a Luke Skywalker is. It'll be fine. They'll love it.
Yeah, true.
Trust me.
Yeah, this is definitely our most sexy episode yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We can confirm we're both wearing shirts. I know last time whenever we had Luke and us on, we said we may not be wearing shirts.
Actually, if you're watching, we're wearing shirts. But if you're listening, we're completely in the nude.
We're taking our shirts off right now.
That's right.
For this podcast.
No shirts. I'm currently taking off my shirt. That was the muffled sound was me taking off my shirt. So that's how you
now we're in that episode 69 mood now.
Again, only if you're listening. That's the best experience for this episode.
And if you're listening and if that is enticing you to watch, you can join our Patreon so you can see us.
Yeah, that's true.
If you would like to see us in this state.
No, that's true. It's pretty true.
But speaking of Patreon, if you want to join our Patreon, you can access the video live while we record every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Except for this next episode, which we want to go ahead and advertise, I believe, Mike, that we're going to record on Saturday, May 4th at nighttime, I would assume, right?
It's so close, we might as well just record on the actual... it's so commercialized. It's such a commercialized holiday. It's so...
It is.
Now, but we're obliged. It's an obligation. We've got to celebrate Star Wars on Star Wars Day. We are a Star Wars adjacent podcast. So on Saturday, May 4th will be our next episode, and we will be doing it live. Whether you're audio person, a video person. We'll be running it on the YouTube's
Yep.
and probably have a link to it on our Facebook because we can simultaneously do that. So whatever,
Yeah, absolutely.
whichever those two ways is best for you.
Yeah, so if you normally listen to the podcast on the audio version, you can join us live Saturday, May the 4th.
See what we
you can finally join us. We're assuming that that's when the Star Wars fan stream is going to be because they did say they're... Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
The only news we're going off of is they said they're going to reveal the HasLab on May the 4th, but that could mean they're only doing that. They're doing a regular fan stream on the Friday before, so we're not sure, but we're just going to go ahead and say we're recording Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I will say, if the live stream is some other time, we will be doing a Patreon-only live watch of that live stream. So
yes,
if you want to hop on Patreon and watch the live stream with us, we can. You can.
Yep.
It'll be a thing that you can do. Will Bond has a good point. Although I don't like saying real Star Wars fans. If you like Star Wars, you're a Star Wars fan, regardless of how you celebrate. But there are a group of Star Wars fans like myself and Will Bond who celebrate Star Wars Day. Hardcore Orthodox. Orthodox is what I call it.
There you go.
Because it's Orthodox Star Wars Day is what I call it. May 25th is Orthodox Star Wars Day. Because until maybe like the last 10 years, I believe, is when I started noticing people do it. May 25th was always Star Wars Day. And then it got moved after the Council of Nicaea convened and moved Star Wars Day to May the 4th because it's a meme.
Well, Revenge of the Sith was released on May 19th, so that's the real hardcore.
That's the real one.
But one more ad.
I'm pretty sure Phantom Menace was also released on May 19th. Maybe that was May 21st, but I'm pretty sure it was May 19th.
Yeah, then all the sequels were just December for some reason.
It's because they didn't want to compete with blockbusters.
Yeah. Which, I get. I do kind of like the Christmas and Star Wars.
Honestly, I liked associating Christmas time with Star Wars. It was a fun change rather than the summer because it's, stand out. I remember when we went to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters, because that was back, if you go to the midnight showings, you have to get there at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon because there's a huge line outside. And there weren't assigned seats back in those days. You went to the theater and sat where you sat. Like, they didn't have assigned seating.
Yeah, so if you're there in a group of 4, but there were 3 seats,
so if you want good seats or to sit together with your friends, you have to get there. So we got there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for a midnight showing, and that was back when midnight showings were actually still at midnight instead of like 7 o'clock at night or whatever. So we're there for like 9 hours hanging out with all these strangers who also like Star Wars, but like the sun is just beating down. And it was so hot because it's like it's the end of May, and we're in Southern California, and it was fun, but I got real sunburned, and that wasn't fun. So December gets my vote just because the weather is better, or some more.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. But here in Kentucky, it's very cold in December, so
yeah, I don't care.
I kind of prefer May, maybe, but you don't really got to wait outside in lines anymore.
Isn't it super humid there though in the summer?
Yeah. Spring and summer it gets pretty humid.
That's gross.
For sure.
I hate that.
Humidity is the worst. It's just moist and you feel kind of dirty. I would rather be
cold than grimy.
I don't know. I just hate being cold.
You can wear like 8 jackets.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But real quick, one more advertisement before we talk about some cool stuff.
Sure.
Next Thursday, Will Bond is going to be doing his super deluxe VIP hangout / show. So I'm available that night. Mike, if you want to hop on, you definitely can. Feel free. So yeah, if you're a Patreon member, that's open to all Patreon members. It's just another way we give you all extra content to listen to in the background or to hang out live with us. So we'd appreciate if you join us on that. But now I think we get into some very sexy, fine additions.
Very.
I don't know how much you have, but I'll go first.
I think we both have one thing that's the same.
And that's definitely the sexiest we have.
Yeah.
But I'll go first real quick.
Yeah,
so I did pick up. Yeah. Look at this. I got some oldies. Well, at least 2. Look at that. Sabine Wren. And this isn't even. This is the helmet's kind of tight. You know, unlike the TVC version where the helmet's like Hot Toys sized. But this is actually the old version, the pre-photo
but
reel.
it's the newer old version because your holsters aren't pegged into the legs. The first release of Sabine Wren, her holsters were actually pegged into the legs.
So I got the running change version.
They did the running change where they weren't pegged into the legs.
But I bought this from Justin, so shout out for selling me this for like $15, I think. But this is one of those ones that I sold like right when I was getting out. Like I had already bought this house. I probably got into Black Series maybe 4 months later. And then I sold this one like right before I decided to get back in. So I was kind of upset because it's not necessarily the cheapest figure to find. I know, literally. And then Mike, you're going to be mad at me. I bought 3 more of the Archive 501st Troopers.
You're just throwing your money away.
No, it's for the display. It's for the giant. I have 11 troopers now behind Anakin, marching on the Jedi Temple. And see, I didn't really want to buy, and they're only $15 each. You know, they're pretty cheap now.
For you. We need an intervention for you.
Look, I only need one more.
You have a clone trooper problem, and you have an outdated clone trooper problem.
No,
and it's not even just outdated. It's super outdated now.
But see, these, I don't really want them on the figure display. They're very good for, you know, museum waxing the foot down onto the 3D print. So they're almost perfect. And they look more like the clones that were in episode 3. You know, obviously the new 501st is better articulation and all that, but you can't just compete with the visual of the Archive 501st.
Oh, yes, I can.
Well, not if you're doing a 3D print that's very movie oriented.
Fine.
And these were Target exclusive. They're not cheap to find on secondary market. These are
that's true.
The Archive ones. You can get them for 15 to 20 now.
You bought those from Justin too, right?
Yeah, 15 each. Yeah. I have 11, so I have one row that only has 2 in it. I was actually fine with just the 8 that I had, but he offered me 3 of them for 15 each. I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? So now I only need one more, and then I'm done. I promise I'm done. So if anybody listening to the pod wants to get rid of one of theirs.
I thought we discussed this. I thought you're going to take one of your extra one right now and drill a hole through it so you can have Yoda sticking his lightsaber.
I could do that.
Of it.
See, what if I wanted to do that to the new 3.0 clone, though? Because I don't have anything to do with those.
No. If you're going to do something like that, you do it to the garbage. You don't do it to the nice new shiny.
I would argue the blue on this is garbage.
You're garbage.
That blue color is kind of garbage. They don't fit on the shelf. They don't fit on the shelf.
I mean, they do fit on the shelf if you don't.
How long have I had these 2 figures?
If you don't put any of the other ones on the shelf so you can see the color difference.
Honestly, that's true. But these 2 Appos, how long have we had these? We got them at like the exact same time. They've sat on my desk the entire time. They have not touched the shelf. And
because they're so much fun.
No,
because they're so good.
Yeah, because they're perfect. They're literally the best.
They're so good. Yeah, they're the best thing ever.
They're just disappointing. And I bought
You're disappointing,
but they are disappointing. I'm disappointing you by really liking these.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad.
Yes, the figure itself is bad.
When I got the Order 66 pack. I remember getting that in the mail from Entertainment Earth, opening up and going, man, these figures are hot garbage. Because the articulation was bad.
And
it was so bad.
These ones, the 3 that I got, they're like super stiff too. They seem noticeably more stiff than the ones I have. But I'm just gonna get some museum wax. Maybe I'll just super glue them down because I don't really care for having them outside of that 3D print.
Dump them in acid.
That's an option. But I did pick up something that is a lot more modern and new. And that is, of course, this 2-pack. First, showing off the Battle Droid C-3PO.
C-3PO.
Which, I'm like, the body paint isn't as bad in person as it was online. Like, I'm okay with the body paint. Like, I think it's okay. But the green on the helmet, or not his helmet, his C-3PO's head, they went too heavy on that green that covers the gray. But it's cool. I still like it. Definitely worthy of the Attack of the Clones shelf for sure. But the figure we're all here to talk about today, which has its own segment after Fine Editions, is of course the Super Battle Droid. Literally a figure I think everybody's been wanting in the line like the entire time the line has been alive. So literally a decade plus of wanting the Super Battle Droid, and it has paid off. The wait was very much worth it. Just an absolute banger of a figure. I'll let you go ahead and do your Fine Editions, and then we'll kind of segue that into its own segment.
Okay. Let's see. I got some figures. First, I got non-Star Wars. I got this Scarlet Retro G.I. Joe Scarlet. She's good. She's a good figure. She doesn't like to stand up, but she comes with a stand, so it's okay. I got little Annie Skywalker here.
Are you gonna paint him up and dirty him up, or
probably not? I don't know. Unless maybe I'll get another one to do it, but I don't like permanently altering my figures. even if he does, I don't think he looks that bad. Like I think there is a little bit of a wash on there. Like there's definitely details and whatnot, but it could be better. But I do think that the face is really, really nice. And then I also got the Padme Amidala, and I broke my hot streak here of not doing YouTube videos, and I made a YouTube video for both of these. So
he's back.
I'm back, baby. One thing I did notice and did find out after I did my review is that Padme's little blaster here, the barrel retracts. So if you want a shorter blaster, you can do it. It's something I didn't know, and there's no instructions for these. I don't know how anyone would find out other than just playing around with it and going, "Oh, it pushes in." So it was weird.
Is that the same blaster that comes with the Attack of the Clones version, or
it's
is
not?
It different?
No, I checked. It is not. Yeah, it is a different blaster. Although I mean, it looks the same, but it's not the same. Yeah. I didn't, it was one of those things where like I did my review without really doing a lot of research. I'm just opening them up and giving first impressions, and I'm like, yeah, she looks great, just like she did on screen. And then when I'm editing it, I'm like watching clips from episode 1 and noticing that like in the movie, she like the inside of her outfit is like bright red. There's like tons of red, and the gold goes down her legs, and the gold actually goes back behind the little skirt thing she's got. And I'm like, wow, that's not even close to being accurate now that I look at it. So yeah, it was weird.
They did the cost cutting maneuver on that one for sure. They're like, no, well, let's not paint the inside of the skirt. And it's weird because you can see it. Yeah. It's not like something you can't see because it's behind her legs.
Right. Anyway, I also got the same Battle Droid 2-pack that you just showed off. I mean, the Super Battle Droid's okay.
Stop.
I think he's fine. He's fine, I guess.
Stop.
I think, yeah, the factory missed the note, Wilbon. That old chestnut. Are you Chris Bun right now? I think the star of the 2-pack is the C-3PO. I mean, I really feel like it's cool. We got another Battle Droid.
I'm just going to remove you from the podcast right now.
But yeah, I also got a little Transformer. He's a cute little truck guy named Gears. I like him. He's cute. He's adorable and squat. He's so cute. Anyways, that's everything. That's my pickups for the week.
Awesome. So I felt like the Super Battle Droid is such a great figure. It almost deserves its own segment on the podcast. So now is when we talk about our reactions to the figure. I thought it was fitting that we're talking about a figure on episode 69 that can literally take its shirt off.
It can take its shirt off. That's true. And its head. It gives good. Never mind.
Jesus Christ. Fast forward the podcast right now.
I don't know how sexy you want to go on this one.
But do you think the Super Battle Droid has potential to be one of the best figures
right now
in the Black Series?
It's easily figure of the year so far. Easily figure of the year so far. I definitely think it's the best droid Hasbro has done to date. I think
So
it
beautiful.
has potential to be in the top 10 of all time, maybe even top 5. But I don't like, it's one of those things. It's like, is it recency bias? Is
It has to
just that
sit
it's
a
so
little
much-
bit for sure.
See, for something, for when you're going for all times, you can't just make a, like, you can acknowledge that it has potential, but you really can't make any sweeping claims like that so early. But I think it definitely could end up in some Hall of Fame lists, some all-timer lists. I do think right now it's the Droid GOAT, just in terms of like the stability that it's got, the heftiness that it's
The
got.
balance is actually
balance?
insane. Like, it takes 5 seconds to get it to balance
Yeah.
on 1 foot. It has a
Yeah.
perfect weight almost to this figure.
Yeah. It's got a lot of really good joints that you just don't expect. I mean, the only thing that sucks is that he doesn't have any head movement, but that's because he doesn't have a neck.
Mm-hmm. There is
Patrick
no head to
Mahomes
move.
of the back. Yeah, it's neat. I wish it came with something like maybe I'm wrong, but are their blasters always out on their arms, or does it come out?
I am not 100% sure.
So that
I
was one
would
of those things. Like,
assume. I
wish
think
the
it's all the
blaster-
way out on this version.
Is it all? Yeah. I think it does have a little bit of a retracting thing going on that I wish that they could have given us an alternate like piece or something, or made it removable where you could take it off.
I wish there was a little bit of paint on the actual blaster part of his right wrist. Like
That and that was
like a
and that's
silver
something I
touch.
pointed out. Yeah, that's something I pointed out in my video review, is that the blaster on top of the arm has a really good sheen and paint job on it, and then the blaster is this flat gray, and it's very noticeably like different, just because like they're right next to each other. And it stands out when you don't put that extra little effort into it, because it's right there.
Yeah, and the sand deco on it up close, like whenever
Yeah.
you really dissect it up close, it's not the best. But whenever you set it on the shelf and you look at it from a distance, that's kind of how it's meant to be. So I actually don't mind it at all, really.
No, but it's one of those things that when they do the standalone fan channel exclusive one, like, I think that one is going to be exactly what people want. And I did know through watching the videos and stuff, the blaster mark on the back of him, C-3PO actually gives him that.
Oh, really?
He shoots him in the back when he falls, and then that's what makes the Super Battle Droid fall on top of him, was that Kit Fisto pushes him back, and then he falls back and shoots up as he's falling back, and then the Battle Droid falls on top of him. Again, I did a lot of research on it after I did my video, which I don't know if you guys have ever done like a YouTube video, but that's not the best way to make a YouTube video is shoot your video and then do a bunch of research after the video is done.
This is the first figure set that I've actually did an actual voiceover for on TikTok.
Yeah,
while
on
unboxing it.
I noticed that on the TikToks.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but literally all of like my last 10 or 12 videos are featuring none other than my voice. It's not the AI generated voice. Well, I realized, I guess that was like, I'm part of this creator program. Let me see what can happen if I post original audio, and then I made like $6 from the first one I did. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, this is definitely a thing going forward. So I'm gonna try to commit to that going forward, and it's actually gotten me like a wider audience, like more followers. I've noticed. Yeah. Even though the videos are getting less amount of views, it's reaching a different audience, which I think is cool.
Probably a better engagement as well. Yeah,
and but the Super Battle Droid, I'm really excited for that single release. I'm hoping it's a clean version. I would say this is about as good as it gets with Black Series, these days.
Yeah.
Which gives me hope for that Droideka.
I honestly, so far for the year, I feel like Black Series is pretty good. I mean, we don't have a lot going on. We have the 2-pack with Mace Windu and that one. The only problem I have, I mean, I don't have. Actually, I have a lot of problems with that. I don't like that the lightsaber doesn't peg into his belt. I don't like that it's the older clone trooper body. But other than that, like it's a good release. We have the 2 clone trooper pack, which is nice. I feel like it's been a good year so far, but I think that the Super Battle Droid is definitely the highlight of the year. Yeah,
I feel like the only thing that could maybe take over figure of the year, and I know it's early, but if that Droidica really impresses, if it's not, this weak, flimsy thing, I think the Droidica is probably the one thing on my mind that I feel like could take over figure of the year.
Sure.
That's set to, that we have on
that we know of. Yeah, that we know of.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because they could release something.
I mean, we have so much, we have a lot of the year to go.
Yeah. But I guess stuff that's revealed now probably wouldn't hit. It'd have to hit in November, probably. December to be.
Yeah.
That good might be tough heading into May or whatever. But yeah, Super Battle Droid is well worth the wait. It's a figure, I've definitely been wanting since 2013, since 2014. I think it's been in my top 3. For years at least. I know you've always wanted Super Battle Droid, so fine. It's like one of those times where it's a really like a great time to be a Black Series collector. It's just one of like the most satisfying. I haven't been this excited to open a figure in such a long time, and I know I feel like I say that, but this is like I don't even know like a word to describe it. It was just.
Well, it was so good it made me want to make a video about it. And again, I hadn't made a video since the end of last year when I did my top 10 for 2023. And part of it is just that there wasn't really anything to do a video about if I'm just doing Black Series videos. Like there really hadn't been many releases that I picked up. But it was one of those things where as soon as I got it, I'm like, nope, I got to make a video for this. Like this is something that I have to talk about.
Yeah. He's back. Mike is back.
I'm back.
So how many videos does that put you for in 2024? Is that 2 now?
Two videos. Yep.
Full-time podcaster now.
Yep. 2 in 1 month. No, I'm gonna do more videos coming up. For sure. I'm gonna do one on the probably on the Mace Windu Clone Trooper pack. I mean, I might honestly roll that into the other Clone Trooper pack too, because like when you're talking about one clone, it's easy just to talk about other clones, especially when the other 2 clones are basically just the same figure with a different paint job.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'll probably make one video out of all that, and hopefully by then maybe something else will be out.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe we'll have some May 4th things or
pre-orders. Yeah.
I'm kind of upset. My little Anakin gets delivered tomorrow. It just missed the day.
That sucks. It just missed it. Yeah.
I know. It makes me so mad. But now I got to wait a whole 2 weeks to get it.
I mean, my biggest problem with that figure is that you're spending retail price for a little tiny figure, which is fine. Like we've done that before, but they usually give you more accessories. Like he comes with a backpack that he wears for maybe 2 minutes in the whole movie. And there's other stuff he absolutely could have come with. Alternate helmets, either pod racer or starfighter. But even if you don't want to do that, pack him with a pit droid. Heck, pack him with a folded up pit droid that doesn't unfold. It's just a molded piece that's a folded up pit droid. I absolutely would not have had any problem with that. And that's a fun little world building piece that would have been great.
Oh yeah, I agree. That's actually a pretty solid idea. It's like some world building,
Something, yeah, just something to make it more worth the price. But it's one of those things where like he's Anakin Skywalker. You gotta have him on your shelf,
Oh yeah. You can't have a Phantom Menace shelf and pass on little Anakin.
Right. Right.
Yeah. He's essential, at least to the characters that I have, in this little section of my collection over here.
Yeah, my super small Phantom Menace squad section on my shelf is growing and now it looks like more of a collection instead of just Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Jar Jar.
So before we jump into news, I did want to let's chat real quick about this real quick. So I'm thinking about changing up my collection a little bit. So as you can see on the walls behind me, it's mostly separated by like movie and television show. You know, I have the Ahsoka show and Return of the Jedi. But whenever I started doing 3D printing and all, like I've had a lot of figures come off the shelves, and I bought extra figures for the displays and all that. You know, if you look at my Return of the Jedi set, it's literally just Endor figures, and then there's Boba, Palpatine, and a couple stormtroopers behind him. So that's like, there's not a whole lot of Return of the Jedi represented. I feel like it's just Endor stuff with the Emperor. It's just kind of
that's because most of your Return of the Jedi stuff is on your Jabba's palace.
Yeah, right? Jabba's palace, and I have the Royal Guard. I have the giant, you know, Emperor's throne 3D print.
So it's not like you don't have it, but it's just not part of your collection because it's in
it's not.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, A New Hope, I have like some Tatooine stuff over here. Then I have Darth Vader and like Leia and Luke, and Ben Kenobi, and a couple, you know, Tarkin. I have the George Stormtrooper on the A New Hope shelf. So I'm thinking, should I? And I've been 3D printing these Lane Speeder Luke magic risers. You know, the one that it's not.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
The hex stand, but it's the elevated type. You know, where you can slide in the foot base. So
that's a really smart design of his, for sure.
Yeah, I really like it. The only problem is they just take, at least on my printer, they take so long to print, and I've been like doubling the speed, and it actually caused an issue.
Was that the bird? Was that the bird nest you printed?
Yeah, that was the bird nest. So, and it actually like messed up. I tried to print something after that, and it wasn't working. And I was like, oh my god, I just screwed up my printer. So I'm back to this. But so I have one going now, and I slowly have turned the speed up to 150. So I was trying to be patient with it, but I'm not going to go all the way to 200. I'm not going to double it. But if 150 I think is smooth, it'll take like 26 hours total print. But I bought like 3 full rolls to do a couple. I think I can get 3 of those off each roll, which is, I guess, kind of expensive. But I had an Amazon coupon, and so I got 3 for like $19, and they were on sale. So it's worth it in the long run. I just got to be patient because they take so long to print. But anyways, I was thinking about changing the shelves to maybe factions like the Empire, Rebellion, Clone, and
that's
maybe
how
a
I've got
couple
mine.
Jedi thrown in. Yeah, I might go because I used to do that, but I might go back to that. But I just don't know, where would I put like the game. I guess I could do like a shelf for gaming figures, but I guess I
have a gaming section on mine. Yeah, because like my even I even have like Imperial gaming figures there because my Imperial section's too big and I needed to like pull some away. So I've got a video game section on my shelves. Although that's not entirely true because you can see I have my Riot Trooper right there. But that's just because I really like the
the way he looks.
Trooper.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So I think I might try to switch that up once I get more of these printed. So it's a project.
Are you gonna do the Luke just showed us? I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but he just showed us a battle droid stand. And my God.
Maybe I might print a couple of those for sure because I know the battle droids they do have
such a smart it's such a smart idea. Luke is the best. Luke is the absolute best.
Luke is the best. He's I wonder how painting up his blaster, his battle droid blaster is going. I think he said he's going to be listening while doing that. Yeah. So hopefully Luke
gonna come. He's
hope
like,
the progress.
Don't talk about my battle droid stand. Like, sorry, dude. You didn't say it was an NDA.
Yeah, every time.
Okay, every time he talk about it. That's good.
Going forward, every time he like sends us a sneak peek of a print he's gonna release in like a week. Yeah. We're just gonna talk about it on the pod since he never.
Well, he's usually good about saying like, "Don't talk about this" or whatever if he's doing like a big thing. But like,
that's true.
This is just a silly little stand for battle droid, which is it's so elegant and simple that it just works.
So now I have to pitch Luke, make that battle droid stand for the rectangle ones because those are we need a magic riser battle droid stand now.
Need a magic riser thing. Yeah.
Don't only do it for the hex people. Us rectangle people need to be represented as well. Anyways, so I guess we can jump into some news now. So I think that's a project I'll be doing, but we can jump into the news now. I'll update how that goes going forward. And the first bit of news, Commander Wolf randomly popped up on Hasbro Pulse for outlet price.
So weird. Straight into outlet, which is Hasbro Pulse's discount like sale, but not a sale. It's like we just have too many of these. It's like seriously like someone found a bunch in the corner of a warehouse somewhere.
Like on a skid, yeah.
Yeah. Like we need to sell these. And so they didn't even put them up for retail price. It just went straight to the site, straight to outlet for $17.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. And it's sold out.
Yeah. If I didn't already have one, I would have bought one. But like I just don't need extra Commander Wolves.
Yeah, you don't need an extra wolf at all. You know, especially since he's a named clone.
Was he on the
Nerd Zoics report?
Nerd Zoics list?
He was not.
Okay. But you know what was and what came out today?
The helmet. The
helmet.
Stormtrooper helmet, right? I think he's only gotten helmets right for
so
Black
far,
Series
just
anyways.
helmets,
For Star Wars. I haven't kept up with
it does have that rerun thing. That's what he was talking about, the reruns. And it just came out of nowhere. They were just like, here's a shock trooper helmet.
Yeah. So with the Nerd Zoic stuff,
Yeah.
I don't think he was fed BS.
Right.
Because obviously some of the helmets have come out, but it seems like some of the figures, at least for now, just weren't an accurate report. I don't think he was spewing out nonsense because we've seen multiple helmets now have gotten a rerun that he called. But I just think the figures might have been from his source.
Who knows? Maybe next year, maybe 2025, we'll suddenly start getting super old, sought after figures.
Yeah, whenever we saw the wolf go to the outlet, my first thought was that on? I remember there was a clone or two on Nerd Zoics report, but it was Fox.
Yep.
And then I think Fox, a Stormtrooper or two.
Yeah.
I actually I deleted
the Shadow Squad. I remember the Shadow Squadron set was on there, and it's like, no way.
That's like the most questionable one. Yeah.
They're not gonna rerun a Phase 2 Blue Line figure that was Target.
Literally exclusive. A 2014 Target exclusive that sold out pretty much. It didn't stay on shelves too long. I remember seeing two of them on the shelf too.
I only saw it on shelves once, and I bought the one.
I saw two of them on the shelf, and I bought one of them, and then I eventually sold it when I got out of the line, and then you all made fun of me for not having it, so I had to get it back.
In our defense, you deserved it.
That's true. I thought I was cute selling it, trying to get into Hot Toys, and then I was like, nah, screw Hot Toys. I'm getting back into Black Series. I actually didn't collect anything. I bought some Funko Pops. I had a lot of Game of Thrones Funko Pop. Well, there was like nothing Game of Thrones to buy when I was really hardcore into that, when that show was coming out. So the Funko Pops fed the collective gene that I have in me for a while. But I don't mind dipping my toes into the Hot Toys now. I'm still jealous I don't have that Vader yet. I should just cancel the damn thing by now since everybody else has it. It's all I see on Instagram these days.
It's weird. Yeah, it's so weird you don't have yours yet.
I'm about to email them and say, why don't I have this? It's paid in full. I just got to pay the $40 tax whenever you ship it.
Yeah.
And that's it. But if I do cancel it, I already paid that $33 non-refundable deposit.
Yep.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah, and as soon as you cancel it, you would have gotten it. Like the next day.
They'll ship out the next wave of them.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's one of the things I see every time I go on Instagram and I go on the search, like the For You or whatever it is on that search page. There's like no hesitation. There's always one of those Hot Toys Vader pictures on there. So Instagram's been rubbing it in my face for sure. The next bit of news we have is, it actually popped up a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, like good timing.
Yeah, so literally right before we recorded the podcast, and I had my run in at PetSmart, which you can join the Patreon to hear about that. We had Kitty Monday official packaging revealed.
We've seen it before because it's leaked, but we've never officially seen it. Basically,
yeah, this is like official images of it, and the pose, you pointed this out. I didn't really pay any attention to it until you messaged us in the group chat about it. But what is going on with the pose they chose here for him?
It's weird. Like I've never seen a Jedi. I've never seen anything depict Ki-Adi-Mundi, but almost any Jedi holding their lightsaber down. It's interesting. Yeah.
I almost feel like they should have saved this pose for somebody who is like a Sith or something.
Yeah, it's such a weird pose. But we all know Ki-Adi-Mundi is sort of a deviant, so it checks out.
For sure. Yeah.
It checks out.
You know, I do hope this is a lighting thing. But see how on that left, the blade colors are different? That better be a lighting thing. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think it's a lighting.
I think it is too, but just in case it's not, we're calling it here. We're bringing it up here now. It better be a lighting thing because he better have a good blue saber. But so we were talking about another figure that we're going to talk about here in a minute, maybe being the last slanted packaging. Could this be the last one we get? Because we have no clue when this is coming out. But it is.
We have a pretty good. I mean, this is coming out in the same wave as the Phase 1 Clone Trooper. So true. Both of those would be slanted ones.
But do you think which one will be the last one that we receive in hand?
That's it. I mean, I have a feeling. Well, are the Acolyte figures are all the new?
No, those are new. Now, right? Those are new boxes. Yeah, those are new boxes.
So I honestly think this could be the last thing, or one of the last things.
Because the figure we're talking about now on reveals, the
Droidica. That's a good point. Pletho says Droidica.
Droidica is in slanted packaging.
That one is on the slanted box as well. So that's a good point.
Interesting. Yeah, I forgot about the Droidica being on slanted. I guess a lot of the pipeline stuff and pre-order stuff is probably on slanted packaging.
Well, after we talk about the reveals, I'll talk about pipeline stuff. So let's talk about reveals real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some Target exclusive reveals to go over. The first one, we have the R5D4 BD72 and Pit Droids Target exclusive pack. Again, we have a PR email issue. The PR email said $49.99, and turns out whenever it went up for pre-order, the retail price is a good $44.99. So basically $5 off right off the top, which I think is a really good deal. Some people in my TikTok comments were talking about how, that's so overpriced. Look, I know you're gonna go into this hard.
Yeah. I don't understand why. Like, listen, if you divide this pack in half, like if you got a pack with 2 Pit Droids and a BD, I'll get into the BD in a bit, but like that would be a solid $25 retail set. You'd be like, yeah, $25 for 2 Pit Droids and a little BD droid, like that's a good amount of stuff for a random retail thing. And then also if you got the R5, and this R5 comes with 5 attachment accessories, and then also the coolest flame effect like booster rocket accessories we've ever seen. Because the only other time we've seen this was the very first R2 that got released, and that did not have flame effects on it. This one actually has flame effects, which is cool. So if they were just like, here's this R5 with all these accessories, that would be a solid retail $25 release. I wouldn't have any problems with that. But individually, $25, no problem. But when you put them together and say $50, people lose their minds. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
It's essentially $25 for R5 and then $20 for the other 3 droids. It's an even better of a deal.
It's an even better deal. Total. Absolutely. Well, plus, and then if you're getting it from Target, listen, if you're a Black Series collector and you don't have a red card yet, like,
you got to get red card is essential. Yeah.
That 5% off and free shipping and like a twice as long return policy, which is also a price adjustment policy if they ever lower the price or whatever. Like, it's a no-brainer. And you don't even have to get the credit card. You can just get like the debit card version, which is all I have. I just tied to my debit card. Like it's
I have the credit card version.
Credit card. Either way.
Yeah. Either way.
Either way, it does not matter. But I think this is a solid set, especially for $45.
Oh yeah, I think this is almost a steal in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then of course here are the Pit Droids and the BD72. Some people were saying when they pipelined it, I should have went back and checked. whenever they pipelined it, did they say 3 pit droids?
It did not. I think it just said 3-pack. It was SDCC 2023 Black Series pipeline. So let me look at that. Images.
Because I don't remember. I should have looked up exactly what they said before the pod. So if anybody in the chat knows also.
All it says is R5D4 and pit droids. That's all it says, because it was the same one they released, or they did a pipeline for Memonadon, and they misspelled it.
Mm-hmm.
So it does not say. I think they might have said when they were talking 3 pit droids.
That could also just be, if they told them 3 droids, they could have just assumed by the picture they were given.
Yeah, and it could have just been like a misspoke. Like they know 3 droids and they just said pit droids or whatever. Or they could.
Because we've seen the marketing people usually don't have that much information.
Correct.
Unfortunately.
And especially this was, as of yesterday when this got revealed, this was the oldest pipeline we've had hanging out. It was the oldest thing that they have said is coming out that we hadn't seen. So it was nice to finally see this. It's nice to get it off the list. The other thing that I haven't really seen many people talk about is the BD droid, because Pelimoto never calls him anything but PD or BD in the show, either show that he's in. And I think a lot of people were thinking like this is BD1
from Survivor
games.
and Fall.
So we're like, okay, what happens to Cal Kestis? Like, what happens to this? But it's not BD1. It's like BD 71 or something like that.
72.
So there's 72. Yeah, you're right. 72. So we finally have like actual confirmation. This is not BD1, which I like. I like having that.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to switch it up. How do you feel about the paint or lack thereof paint on the pit droids? Because I was kind of hoping maybe a little bit more of a dark wash, maybe have him a little dirty. What do you think about him? I feel like they might be a little clean for Pelimoto's shop.
I think the one on the left with the more paint looks good. I think the one on the right is a little bare bones. Like I got the one that came in the little droid pack, and it doesn't have a lot going on there either, honestly.
Does that one, is it a different paint?
It's a darker paint job.
Okay, let me make you big real quick. Oh.
So it's closer to the one on the left, I guess.
But it has like a gray rim on the head, sort of. Yeah.
But it's all gonna go well together. Like, I really like this little pit droid body.
Yeah, I don't have a pit droid in the collection yet, so I'm excited to add one or 2. I got this set pre-ordered, so that is exciting. I did want to bring up, so R5, I was hoping R5 would be, because I didn't buy the single release because I assumed R5 was going to be dirtier and have more paint, more used in this pack. But since he comes with the rocket boosters, that's specific to Mandalorian season 3. Whenever he's all clean, he finally gets all cleaned up and like a brand new droid almost. So that retroactively makes the single release worse, in my opinion, because that's the one that came with the motivator. And whenever we first see him in Mandalorian, he's super dirty and super grimy. So that's the one that should have been painted up to be dirty. But maybe they're waiting for a New Hope release.
That could be too. I would buy it again. I'm going to have so many R5D4s. It's not even funny. But another interesting thing about this is, the first thing people saw were those rocket packs. And my first instinct was, whoa, what's happening there? Because none of the new droid bodies, none of those little leg pieces come off like they do on the old ones. So like I questioned whether this is the new body or not.
At first I thought it was, like, the first glance I was like, oh, did they retool the leg there for a second?
Yeah,
they have a different leg, but
no. After
further analysis,
it turns out on the new R2 and R5 that they released prior to this, they just glued that piece down. It's still there. There are people now that have like pried it up and it comes off. Like, if you heat it up, you can peel it off. But it's a piece that they glued in, which is weird. I don't know why they glued it on those, but it's nice. And maybe to make this a surprise, but that also means that I definitely want an episode 1 R2-D2 now with the same rocket pack, or Revenge of the Sith, because he used it in he only used it in Revenge of the Sith. In episode 1, it was a deleted scene where he used it, and I always was super disappointed that we never got to see it. And I love that we saw it in episode 3.
Yeah, as a kid, I loved that scene. That's like one I remember sitting in the theater and my dad laughing, and he thought it was really awesome whenever R2 had the jets come out and the fuel catch on fire, and he kills the droids.
Yeah,
and that's how he gets out of that situation. So that is a cool scene, and I think this kind of leads to maybe whenever we get Revenge of the Sith packaging, they'll release an R2 with the flame effects. I think
I'd buy it. Wouldn't even consider not buying it, honestly.
Yeah, same, because we're sickos, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely sickos for sure.
So yeah, that's R5, and then let's see. Apparently, he uses them in Droid Factory episode 2.
Yeah, he uses them in Droid Factory.
That's true. He flies around.
I forgot about that.
And Pletho asked, "Do you have to remove a piece?" Yeah, you have to remove that side leg piece there. It's a removable attachment. That blue piece that goes down the middle of his leg. Yeah, that pops off. And it's actually interesting that we've noticed this lately with Black Series figures with the softer overlays. It's not like one solid chest piece. They're creating these figures in an easy way for them to redo it for the next couple figures and make it easier to change, these little intricacies between each figure, and it not cost so much money to retool it. Because obviously the perfect example is this old clone body. This is just one solid piece up here. But now with the new ones, it's just an overlay that they can change to a different one if they needed to, and then release. I mean, even this Anakin, the top is an overlay, so they could change this to like the little Jedi Anakin at the end of the movie if they wanted to. Yeah, and I think it helps Hasbro save money, and it helps us because they're going to be more inclined to. I know some people are going to think this is bad, like to be more inclined to release, multiple types of certain figures, but I kind of prefer that. I want multiple versions of a lot of characters, as long as they don't do them back to back to back. Space them out a bit. Yeah. But I know it seems like we got, a bunch of Lukes there within a couple of years, but space them out a bit and we'll be good. The next reveal, we have the Mandalorian Privateer. And so another blue Mandalorian. This one was pipelined. I don't think they called it the Privateer in the pipeline, but
no, it was just the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, the Night Owl, the male version of the Night Owl.
So this one was pipeline. This is the second oldest pipeline that we had, which is nice. So we got some old pipelines out.
Which I gotta say, I actually dig it. I know another blue Mandalorian, but I think this one might be one of the cooler designs because I love that white stripe with the silver face mask on the helmet.
Yeah, I like the cool blue and the gray together, like the color blue. It's on the new body, obviously, which is a good body, and it has a holster, which is also great.
Yeah, and I think I noticed this is a new belt, right? There's
I believe so. Yeah.
It looks so there's no other Mandalorian male that uses this exact belt, but there is Bo-Katan and Casca Reeves wear this same belt. So I think it may be like they used like that base and made it bigger or something, but then they had to attach the holster and like the leg strap. So new mold on the belt.
Yeah, but it looks good. I mean,
yeah, I like it.
Although Wilbon is right. I'm a fan, but we as collectors are quickly reaching our limit on blue Mandalorians.
Yeah, same. I really want like an orange helmet thrown in, like the Judge, or one of those green ones. Give me a kid one, the little kid Mandalorian with that weird looking helmet. I think that would be cool. I didn't pre-order this one. I still haven't gotten the Fleet Commander, and I need to. There's a used version or like a messed up box version on Amazon for like $18. I need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. But another blue Mando.
Really a fan.
Yes, look, I'm gonna get it eventually. I'm just a little behind on they released so many blue Mando. It took me a while to get Axe Wolves too because these blue Mandos I'm getting a little burnt out. Well, I have been burnt out, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do plan on picking this one up, but I didn't pre-order it. I feel like I'll see it later on.
Oh, it's Target. So
it's Target.
It's a pretty good chance you'll see him in stores. Now, both of these are scheduled to release in July, which is pretty close.
It's coming up.
Yeah, which means that, there's a good chance that anything to show off in May, we could potentially get sometime this year still. Just because, pre-ordering in April and getting in July, that's a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah. But it's nice that, we're definitely past all the issues with shipping and distribution that we were having in
for sure,
in 2022.
Thankfully,
definitely it seems to be that things are shipping in a timely manner and they're getting things where they need to be, which is just nice.
Yep. And do you think this will be the last item ever revealed in the slanted packaging?
I would be surprised if we had anything revealed after this week, because I think that Ki-Adi-Mundi has been hanging out for a long time. Although it wouldn't have surprised me if that were in the new box, because they went so long not showing us a box for it.
That would have made sense for it being the reason.
Yeah, because they did that back in 2022 when they were switching over to plastic-free packaging. They announced figures that ended up in PFP, but they didn't show us the boxes for them, like Fourth Sister and stuff like that. Specifically, they wouldn't show us the boxes until they announced the packaging. But yeah, it's interesting. I think that we're definitely dwindling down into this from this old style, and we're gonna start. I think that this could be the end of it for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last slanted packaging box that is revealed. End of an era.
End of an error? An error?
No, not an error. Not an error. I don't mind the slanted packaging. It grew on me. At first, I wasn't like the biggest fan, but it did grow on me enough to where whenever they came out with the slanted version, I was like, and then like within a week, I was like, okay, I think I like the look of the new packaging better, because it does have that, and I'll scroll over to it on the slideshow. I do like how it has the colored background for each different movie and series.
That's something we didn't talk about on the 2-pack with the droids. The background has a little like artwork on it. The
Super Battle Droid.
The Super Battle
box.
Droid.
Yeah.
It has the arena back there, which is something that we haven't seen in the Black Series before until this newer packaging reveal where it's got more color back there. So I think that was interesting.
I wonder if that'll be I wonder if that'll be a one-off, because unless they do it going forward, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely an interesting choice and just something I wanted to acknowledge. I liked it. I mean, it doesn't really make or break anything for me. Like, I'm not going to be like, I need more of this. Like, I'm not going to collect things just because they have a little background back there. But it's an interesting and a nice little touch for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it separates itself from the slanted packaging nicely. And I do think this is a premium look. I feel like the slanted packaging kind of gave it a gimmicky sort of look, in my opinion. The flat edge.
I feel like the people that collect in box, this is gonna be better, because they usually put them on shelves, and now you can just have them side by side on the shelf and see the mural as it is, rather than having to like weirdly slant them or not.
Also, if you hung or even if you just set them on the shelf side by side, where the figure is facing you, you don't have a small gap there, because there's a slant on a flat side, because if they're in a continuous row.
Absolutely.
So that's another, perk for collectors.
So we just right now, our oldest pipeline is Darth Sidious, which was revealed back at London Comic-Con at the end of last year.
Oh, please show me that on May the 4th. Please show me that Sidious on May the 4th.
I would be very surprised if we didn't see that on May the 4th. So that's my, like, if we do like a bingo or whatever on there, like that's gonna be on there.
Maybe whenever we do our live watch along, maybe we should have a bingo.
Yeah.
Have a bingo sheet.
Yeah. So that, and then IG-12, the Jedi Survivor Droid 3-pack, and the Super Battle Droid fan channel were all revealed back in the January live stream. So those are our oldest pipelines right now.
Nice. All right. So hopefully we get that Revenge of the Sith #1 Palpatine would be sick.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a good number for Palpatine. Like #1.
I'm getting my hopes up for a new Anakin reveal on May the 4th. I don't know why. I feel like it's happening.
I mean, it'd be cool if
I feel like it's happening.
If they're May the 4th and it'd be in like Revenge of the 6th or something like that, and they're just throwing all Revenge of the Sith stuff.
What if they did a surprise Revenge of the 6th like reveals the next day? That'd be sick. That would literally be dream starter. We would do in another emergency pod, like back to back pods. we would not wait 2 weeks.
Breaking
for sure.
news.
We'd record an ad on at least.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple of discussion topics for this episode of Black Series Cantina. So we figured we'd have a little fun with the episode 69, of course, because why not? I mean, it's literally episode 69. So we picked the sexiest Black Series, the top 10, if you will.
We spent a good chunk of today texting each other back and forth, coming up with figures in the Black Series that we thought were the sexiest.
It might honestly be the only text I got to go back and delete, because if anybody sees that, it's gonna
be hard to explain. Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
Yeah, if I
it's cancelable.
Yeah, for sure. Those texts are a little rough.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, this list, it's very, very episode 69 specific. So here we go.
Yeah. So number 10, we've got R2-D2.
That's a sexy bucket.
He's a very sexy, but he's very domed. Shaped like he could be inserted very smoothly, but also he has attachments.
He comes with a lot of little gadgets that poke out of places that.
Yep. He also has that nice tripod leg.
That's a big tripod.
Yeah. But also he's got
a third leg.
Yeah,
he's got a third leg for sure.
So R2, we know it was pretty hard to pick a number 10. Like someone had to be on there. And while he was #1 in some of our hearts and #1 on my figure list last year, he's the top 10 sexiest figure that I have.
Oh yeah, easy.
So it only gets sexier from here.
It only gets sexier each time until we hit #1.
That's right. So number 9.
So we got Mike Case images going forward.
So I may have done a photo shoot today of all these figures just to get the sexiest up to date poses I could. So number 9 is the
Dark
Death
Trooper.
The Dark Trooper. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Death Trooper. Like it's not right. That's not right. It's Dark Trooper.
Like he's got holes in his knees and his elbows.
Yeah,
that's perfect. That's perfect sexiness.
Yeah. I just feel like he's got that thickness, that girthiness, but also I feel like he could cuddle. Like I could fix him.
Oh yeah, easy. You could reprogram him. You could reprogram him.
Yeah, I could fix him.
He'd be a lover for sure.
Yeah. You know what once you go Dark Trooper, you never go back Trooper. That's how the phrase goes.
That's pretty close.
All right. Yeah, so that's number 9. Number 8. We have One Jack. Well,
One Jack.
We don't know if we want to do Forlom or One Jack, because they're basically, let's be honest, they're basically the same person.
They're basically the same.
But One Jack I thought was a sexier name. Also, he's got that cowboy vibe going. He's got that sexy Brokeback Mountain.
There's somebody that would be into this for sure.
Yeah. One Jack off. Yes, exactly. Good call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like the cowboy daddy vibe that he had going on.
He's got it where it counts. Counts. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what was that number 7 or 8?
I can't remember. Slide backwards and see. So number 8,
10,
that was
9, 8, and this is number 7.
Look at that picture. These are gonna kill me. K2SO.
The K2S Oh, here. I feel like he's got legs for days. So if you like,
He's got long legs.
if you like your crotches high and your legs long, this is daddy long legs
This
right
is
here.
like, for those old school WWE fans, this is like the Stacy Keibler of Black
Oh,
Series.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Long legs.
Legs. Oh, it's a whole calendar full of legs. Like legs for days, like some weeks. No, it's like a whole month of legs right there. K2SO orgasm. That's good, Wilbon. Yeah. So that was number 7. Number 6. I feel like we had to get Little Rex in there. This guy spends 100% of his time in a nightclub.
Nightclubs. Yeah, nightclubs. There's, sexy people all over that place.
All over the place.
He gets it every time.
Yeah. He's got appendages. He's got arms. He can service 3 different people at the same time. Like,
And he's playing those like satisfying smooth beats.
oh yeah,
Like just the perfect
for sure.
beat, the perfect song.
He knows how to have a good time, and he knows how to make sure that you have a good time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Rex was definitely a must-have on the list for sure. And now we're in top 5. Now we're in top 5 territory.
Well, that's that thick boy right here. That chopper.
We
He's
had
a
to
thick
get
boy.
her. We had to get our thick boy who is as wide as he is tall. This is Little Chopper. He's got those little arms. It's not the size of the droid that matters. It's how he uses it.
Yeah, he's a thick boy.
Yeah.
He's a sexy thick boy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And he'll commit war crimes.
He
So we
will
had to put him on the
go.
list.
Yeah. He'll go above and beyond for you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Chopper.
He will murder children for you, even if you don't want him to. And then number 4, we have.
Why is Hugh Yang spreading his cheeks?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is just a normal pose that Professor Hu
The
Yang
figure
does.
came in.
This is the silver fox known as Professor Hu Yang. He's got the sexy voice.
Yep.
He's got the twink body.
He comes with a very suspect shaped accessory.
He comes with a couple accessories that looks like he knows what to do with himself.
He
And
sits
he's
on
got
them.
extra arms. Again, it doesn't hurt to have extra arms,
Yeah,
So-
they could come in handy. There's a couple
for sure.
situations where
Yeah.
that would
But
be
I
recommended.
feel like when you got to have a silver fox somewhere on the list, and he's a professor. Like, who doesn't have a teacher fantasy?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's like everybody's seen those
Yeah.
scenes, right?
Yeah.
There's always a teacher. Hu Yang could be a teacher, he could be a plumber, Hu Yang could be a pipe fixer
What?
on the ship. All of that.
Fix the pipes.
He could be the pool boy. Hu Yang can do it all.
He can't do it all. You order pizza. How you gonna pay for those pizzas? Hu Yang knows how you're gonna pay for those pizzas. Then number 3, we have L337 Elite, the sexiest droid,
Yeah,
Lando's companion. Like
This
come on.
This droid has hips, big hips.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
Oh, yeah.
loves those hips. And it was alluded to in the movie that Lando basically smashes this droid, so this droid is down for anything. So
For
top
sure.
3 sexy droid for sure.
Top 3 sexy droids. Yeah,
For
L337. Love it. Our number 2 sexiest droid, our sexiest character. I guess we just gotta ruin that, but Ned B is daddy.
Oh yeah, easily.
Look at how thick he is.
This is like everybody has a crush on Jason Momoa. This is like the
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
Momoa of Black.
He is the Jason Momoa of Black Series for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's just
a
beefy.
big,
He's a
hulking
beefcake. Yeah,
menace.
he's a beefcake. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Ned B's got it.
He is sexy. Now we have one honorable mention that I didn't get on here, and that's going to be our Imperial probe droid.
Probe droid.
Imperial probe droid, and basically he's just a I mean, he's just a mobile sex swing at this point. Like, he can just cradle you in all kinds of different positions.
Yeah, honorable mention the Imperial sex swing.
I think this bit, the Imperial sex. I think this bit was a mistake. I hope people are taking this in good fun and not being like, I can't believe they're talking about this stuff. But I feel like we're deep enough into the episode where like either only our most thorough fans, like our biggest fans, are only going to be listening to this at this point. Everyone else would have
reported.
Yeah, for sure. And I think our number one figure
is obvious.
It's no surprise to anyone.
You put the picture on there.
I had to. This is our Super Battle Droid, inarguably the sexiest of any Black Series figure Hasbro has ever made. You can't argue with it.
He's the whole package. He has all the features you would need for sure. He's more large-breasted, if people are into that. Rather, he's got the slim waist and he goes up like that.
Oh right? Yeah, he is reverse bell shaped. He's ribbed for all of our pleasure. Thank you, Pletho. And he wants it right in the robusty.
And he can hit any pose. Quite literally, that Mike shows here. He can literally hit any pose. Yep. Mike went off with this one.
I did. I cooked. I always have a thing with trying to put figures in like these fun little like I try to think when I'm taking their picture, like what would I do if I were doing like a modeling shot? Like what kind of positions would they be in, on their hands and knees, laying down, looking at the camera? And then
it's a fun little silly pose, yeah.
Yeah. And then I just noticed how wide the Super Battle Droid's legs can spin forward and up.
Yeah, by far the sexiest is the Super Battle Droid.
There's some droids in this house. There's some droids in this house. There's some droids in this house. But yeah.
Freak. 7 rotations a week.
Yeah, those are our sexiest Black Series figures that we put together, and then we realized they're all droids. That was not intentional.
We got a weird kink for the robots.
Yeah, we just a weird. When you think of the sexiest ones, you want the ones that can go without stopping.
Yeah, it's just how the future, everybody's talking about those actual sex robots that look just like humans. That's the future, apparently.
I don't want that.
That's the thing, I guess. Everybody loves a good robot.
Sex robot to have no neck.
Yeah, no neck, be ribbed, have a little Santan on it. Be a little used.
Why did we do
Super
this?
sexy droid.
Why did we do this? This
I feel
so weird now. I feel so weird now.
Before we made it droids.
Yeah.
I had a sticky note here, and I was just looking at my figures, and I was like, what figure do I just look at and like, ooh, that's a sexy figure. I came up with a small list.
Yeah.
But so here, the ones I wrote out before we did droids.
Yeah.
Ayla Secura.
Sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Force Awakens Kylo. Now that's a sexy looking
Of course.
figure.
That's a sexy. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Clone Wars Kenobi. Very handsome.
All right.
Sexy figure.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back Han Solo.
Yeah. Well, you have to have Harrison Ford on there somewhere. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth. Couldn't not have him.
Timothy Oliphant. Absolutely dead sexy.
Yep. Casca Reeves. For sure. And the 3.0 clone. and Hera for the cake. Absolutely.
Oh, you got to have Hera on there for sure.
Yeah. And then that's when I stopped looking at the figures once we did droids. I started looking at droids.
Yeah, I thought, I didn't want to when I was doing the same thing, and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if it was just all droids? Because people just wouldn't expect that. Because I knew the Super Battle Droid was going to be on there and number 1. And then I thought, it would just be funnier if it were all droids instead of people. Because then it would be a little, I don't know, not as gross. Where you're just sexualizing your figures. But then it turned out we sexualized droids. So it's not really any better.
Hey, at least you can erase their feelings on a computer.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
You know, but if we were to include every Black Series figure, you know what the sexiest would be?
Jabba the Hutt.
The Force Awakens. That's it. The Force Spirit, Anakin Skywalker from the 3-pack. That's easy number one by a mile.
I say the Force Awakens General Leia Organa.
Poe Dameron. Force Spirit, Anakin, sexiest by far, by a mile. No debate. There's no debate. Absolutely no debating it.
I mean, I would debate it.
I'm not hearing any arguments. General Lando, General Lando's good and he's very smooth. Empire Strikes Back Lando,
cool.
even also.
Stanican behavior.
Hey, I won't. No arguments here. So I did want to bring back. I forgot to put it in our show notes. I brought up to you. We can reboot the. I think I told Wilbon we're going to be doing this. We're going to reboot the Black Series Hall of Fame, the Black Series Cantina Hall of Fame, because we did it a long time ago, and then we put like maybe 4 figures in it, but then we like never.
What we even put in?
No, not really.
Me neither.
So we're gonna reboot it right now, and I have a fancy graphic that I'm gonna make for my Instagram.
Oh,
the little story thing you can do on the page. I'm gonna keep it there for reference. So I figured today, but they have to be older figures. We can't just like get a super battle droid. It has to be like in our hand at least for like a year, I would say, before anything can be inducted into the Hall of Fame, right? So what's kind of something we've had for a while you would think is a Hall of Fame tip top Black Series figure, and we can do it right now.
That's real good. I feel a little blindsided by this.
I know, right? I feel like that might be
something we've had for a while.
Yeah, nothing like
the
recent.
Time limit? Like
1 year. I feel like 1 year on shelf.
1 year on shelf. Okay.
So we can do something really old. But I feel like the first one we do has to be kind of important. I feel like we can do one per episode and it'll kind of build. I was kind of thinking if we're going to do, but the number one has to be really, it has to be great. Like we can spar some ideas, but we have to come up with the first one has to be good.
If I were just, without giving this much thought, just looking at my shelf, I would probably say Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, the target
Clone Wars Obi-Wan. That would be good. Gamorrean Guard.
Good Morning Guard is a good one. The 2020 Stormy Wilbon. That was one I was contemplating as well.
2020 Stormy. Yeah, because that's a tip top action figure also.
Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader.
Ooh, that's a good inaugural one. What about Hoth Rebel?
I was literally going to say Hoth Rebel Trooper.
Hoth Rebel. Greedo is a classic.
I would say Greedo's probably the oldest Star Wars figure that we don't need a new one of. Like, they nailed it.
Agree with that.
It doesn't need any kind of update.
I don't care about the butterfly joint on the Greedo.
Nope.
I would buy a new Greedo, but I don't think it requires it.
If they wanted to do more Rhodians or whatever, and they wanted to do like overlays and butterfly joints, like I would buy it. But it doesn't need it. Like, it would never be on any of my lists to be like, we need new versions of these.
So Pletho, we're rebooting it totally. I think we only did it like once or twice. So we're officially rebooting it. We're going to do
this is going to be brand new. Yeah.
One every episode from now until the end.
Until we're out of Black Series figures.
Until we're out of Black Series figures to put in the Hall of Fame. The Black Series Cantina Hall of Fame. Which one are we going to kick it off with? Force Spirit Anakin. All right, perfect.
That's a hard nope.
I feel like the inaugural one. I feel like Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader would be a good start.
Okay. All right.
Because it's classic Star Wars. It's the best Darth Vader Black Series in my opinion. Vader. Yeah. If you don't want battle damage, because
if you just want a Darth Vader, if you just want a Darth Vader on your shelf, Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader is the best Darth Vader. Yeah, butterflies. Yeah. The helmet sculpted. I had the hot toy Empire Strikes Back and that version at the same time.
It's literally a miniature hot toy. Like that figure is superb.
Yeah. Clone Commander, the General Obi-Wan will never be on this list. Ever. Never, ever.
Yeah, that'll be in the Hall of Shame. Maybe I can do a Hall of Shame one day.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our first inaugural figure.
Right. Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader. I'm good with that.
Specifically, carbonized.
Hell no.
I'm just joking.
Oh, God. But yeah, I think that's a good inaugural Hall of Fame figure.
Iconic character. Definitely a fantastic figure. And also, when I just don't see them changing. Like, at this point, I don't think they're ever going to give Darth Vader new legs. You know?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't expect. I mean, if they were going to make a brand new, like 100% from the toe to the helmet Darth Vader, it would have happened in the Kenobi series.
Agreed.
Right? Because they went hard on Kenobi figures.
Yep.
I could see them maybe, hopefully one day, I would be a fan of a Darth Vader series. Maybe that would be a time to do it, but I wouldn't. If they haven't done it now, especially on the Return of the Jedi Vader, on the Kenobi Vaders, that was a perfect time. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
I agree.
But I would love it. It's definitely something I wouldn't be opposed to at all. So I think I'm going to do this right.
I don't think they should do a Vader show. Although maybe a Vader show where he's the main character.
I was kind of thinking
the only way to do it. The problem when you have someone like Vader on there is he has to win. Like you can't make him a recurring villain for like good guys or whatever, because you'll weaken him. He'll become like an enemy of the week that's always like, oh, I'll be back next time. Drat, spoiled again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. I feel like one of the things Disney has done with Vader in the OT era is keep him scary. Like he's been beat like in the games, in the Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor, in Rebels, even in Obi-Wan. Like he got his butt kicked, but he was terrifying. Yeah, like
even against Starkiller, he got his ass whooped.
Yeah,
But Disney's done a good job keeping it.
I feel like they've done a great job of keeping him scary, and that's what's important. Is you got to keep him a threat.
I feel like a good way to do it would be if they wanted to bring Starkiller into live action, like have him just be like leading the Inquisitors, but have him on screen a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not make him the main character, but maybe have Starkiller be the main character if they wanted to do that, and have like an Inquisitors show with Darth Vader heavily featured. I think would be a good way to do it. And because I want to see more of him hunting the Jedi down in between that time period, between 3 and 4.
Yeah, before back in the EU storylines, all we ever heard of in that time frame was the Jedi Purge. Like the Order 66 didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
All we knew about was at some point the Empire happened and Darth Vader led a galaxy-wide Jedi Purge. That's all we ever heard about.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely would like to see more of that, where they are going around just murdering Jedi.
Yeah, so last episode we didn't really get to talk about the Bad Batch because Lukeness wasn't caught up yet. But now I feel like we have some catching up to do on Bad Batch.
It's 100% Lukeness's fault.
Absolutely.
Don't even remember what happened in the Bad Batch the last couple episodes.
Oh my gosh. So full spoilers for Bad Batch going forward from now on. Now that my sound is good. Well, hopefully it's good anyways. Which
it's
the chat's saying it is. Yeah. So Bad Batch. So lately Omega is back in the Imperial Tantus base.
That's right. So let's talk about that, because we didn't actually. Let's see. The last one we talked about was, I think, Harbinger. I actually don't think we've talked about anything past Extraction when she came back. Because we didn't talk about. I don't think we talked about her getting captured at all. Like,
no, we haven't. When she got captured, or because that was whenever
we didn't talk about the Asajj. We didn't talk about the Asajj Ventress episode.
Yeah, because that's the one that Lucas hadn't seen, I don't think. But talk about Asajj Ventress. I want an Asajj Ventress Bad Batch version in the Black
100%.
Series. For
we need
sure.
one. We need Asajj Ventress in the Black Series.
And real quick, what did you think of their all black armor when they
Oh man,
scratched all the paint?
As soon as they did that, and I was like, oh, they just scratched all their markings off their paint. I'm like, oh, there's our season 3 looks.
Mm-hmm.
There's our Walmart exclusive season 3 looks.
You know, it's funny. As soon as I saw the scratched out black paint, I said, I know Mike's in on all those because he got all the
100%.
season 2. I know you're in on. And honestly, the scratched out black armor, that might be a good one because I liked the season 2 armor, but I didn't like it enough to devote a whole new section of the shelf to the Bad Batch. But the scratched out black armor, now that might be one I got to pick up at least in Hunter.
Well, you can't pick up a tech.
Unfortunately. Well, I'm kind of glad he's dead. He was kind of obsolete anyways.
I'm glad Tech's dead.
He's kind of obsolete, especially when they had Echo, but then Echo left. So, but him and Echo kind of do the same thing, and Echo's cooler, in my opinion.
Well, Tech was better at encrypting though. Like half the problems we had in the most previous episode where he's like trying to encrypt and whatever. I'm like, Tech would have had this done already. Tech would have.
Yeah.
Tech would.
But they do the same thing essentially. So one of them had. But it's funny they killed one and then the other one just kind of left the team.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
they lost both of them. Yeah.
But they have had to overcome that, which is good. And Omega seems to be a lot more capable of doing stuff now, which is her growth has been awesome. I hope they don't make her force sensitive.
It doesn't seem like they are. So
I don't think they're going down that path.
I mean, here's the thing. We've talked about this. Star Wars has established this that at some level, everyone is force sensitive. At some level, if you work hard enough and want it hard enough, you can do it in the Star Wars universe. But it seems like the big thing about Omega's blood isn't that she has a high M count or whatever, or is force sensitive. It's that whatever's special about the way they cloned her, it makes the bonding process between clones that do have a high M count. So if they wanted to say clone Emperor Palpatine, they could use Omega's blood as like a catalyst to transfer the M count to make the clone of that character just as good as the original. Because it seems like the problem they were having is when they cloned a Force user, that new one wasn't as strong.
It would depreciate. It would just And it's interesting to see that in the I keep saying Force Awakens, the Rise of Skywalker, they're still having that issue. So I feel like it's clear that Tantus is going to be messed up somehow, whether it's all these clones destroy it, because something has to set them back, because they're still having these issues with Palpatine's spirit or dark energy, like just decimating these clone bodies he's put into. So that's why they had to have multiple Snokes and multiple of these clones.
Yeah.
And I guess
did you ever play the Lego game?
I hadn't.
There's a scene in the Rise of Skywalker part where there's a bunch of like defective Snoke clones running around, and each of them has like some kind of weird defect about like how messed up they are. It's actually a pretty funny.
That's a funny
scene.
touch. Yeah. The Lego games are always good with those little quirky, funny add-ins. I don't understand why, and I guess I do understand why, but I'm personally not, for the question I'm about to ask you, but I guess it's specifically Star Wars Theory, that guy. I saw him on a reel complain about how everything seems to connect to the Rise of Skywalker and Palpatine's need, and it seems like they're trying to make that good, but I kind of feel like they're doing their best to make sense of why, and if they establish it now that he's actively doing that, I think it helps tie all that in. And it doesn't annoy me. I was just kind of get your point of view on that.
This is what this content is for. There's been tons of stuff that happened in the movies Like we never saw anything. We didn't know who, Sifo-Dyas was in the prequel trilogy. All we know is sometime in the 10 years that happened, suddenly there were a bunch of clones, unexplained. No one knows where they came from. No one knows the exact story. Just suddenly, here's a bunch of clones. Sifo-Dyas, a character we've never heard of, had something to do with it. I don't know what's going on there. And then they used comics and books and the Clone Wars cartoon to flesh that stuff out more. Even Tales of the Jedi. Like, we know more about that 10-year period now because of stuff like this. It's the same thing. Like, in the sequel trilogy, they had 30 years. It's either they do it this way where they just kind of push us in and like, this is the story that's happening, and then they know they can go back and fill in those spots, or somewhere in the movie we're going to get a bunch of exposition, and I like that way first. I don't really know where this stuff came from, but it's here, and I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it or whatever, and then they can go back with the Mandalorian, the Bad Batch stuff, and they can spend all that time filling in the holes, retconning things. And people say like retconning like it's a bad thing. Retconning is not a bad thing. It's just a way to fill in the gaps, and sometimes it's better than other times for sure. But this is normal. This is the kind of stuff I was expecting us to get, is to find out how we got there. Like Pletho says, it's good storytelling. This is normal for Star Wars. Fill in those holes.
I just thought it was so odd whenever I saw the reel of him reacting to the blood and the M count and all that, and he was like, "Oh, this is going to connect to the sequel trilogy, of course."
Of course it is.
It's like,
why wouldn't it?
I mean, it's Palpatine. We're getting more into the crap that Palpatine's doing, and if you think about it, he didn't kidnap those babies in the Clone Wars for no reason.
No, absolutely not.
They had to. It actually connects pretty well.
It would make sense that if this was something he was always trying to do, because he knows, like, Sith are obsessed with not dying because that's them losing their power. And Sith can't do the Force Ghost thing. Like that's a thing that Sith just can't do. So that the mark of a good and powerful Sith is that prolonging life, not dying, figuring out a way to keep going, cloning, dark rituals, whatever. It would make sense that Palpatine would have contingencies set up for any of this, because that's the nature also of being a Sith. Like, as soon as you're the Sith master, what do? You get an apprentice, and then what do? You have to worry about that apprentice turning on you, because that's
literally how it's set up. Yeah,
that's the cycle of how it's set up. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So they have to have contingencies for all of that stuff, and you can't not have an apprentice, because that's like part of it too. Is you have to have like that person. You have to. There's the need to spread out and I can kind of procreate a bit. Weirdly enough, like, if you know, like. It's I don't understand why anyone would complain about this. Well, the only reason he's complaining is because he doesn't like that the sequels aren't getting retconned or erased, and that's what all these grifters and whatnot really want, is they hate it so much that here we are 6 years after Last Jedi or whatever. It's all they can think about, and they've made up stories about Kathleen Kennedy getting fired, and things getting retconned and changed, and like there's none of it's based in fact. It's all based in, I heard from an industry insider. All of it's crap. All of it, 100% of it's crap, but they believe it because they want it to be true so badly that when reality sinks in and it doesn't go that way, they get mad at it, because that's just not how it's going to happen.
Do we know how old Kathleen Kennedy is?
I mean, I feel like she's in her 60s or 70s.
Because it's going to be so annoying.
she is retiring this year, I think, or
Oh, is she?
She's retiring soon. I don't think like her contract is up, and I think she does want to retire. And that's the thing. I know what you're gonna say. 100%.
It's gonna be so annoying whenever she does retire.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many of those people who are like, "I told you I was right." They're just not saying she was fired. Yeah. They're kind of covering it. They're covering. They're giving her like the "oh, I'm leaving" grace. They're covering it up that she was let go.
No, and it's just one of those things where like a broken clock is eventually right. You know, if you give it enough time. But the difference is it won't be her being fired. It'll be her retiring or whatever. But they'll just say, "Oh no, they're just saying that. They're just spinning it to be positive." But she's been out for years. You're like, "Oh my god, it's not." It's not.
What's funny? Everybody blames her for all the stuff they don't like, but all the stuff they do love, it's like, nope, no mention of that.
Okay, so on that same note, in that Yak Face post you had up earlier, there was a comment right here that says in the Yak Face post, I wanted to read this. It says Big L on Hasbro because they can't seem to figure out how to release figures in an orderly fashion. Ever since Disney purchased Star Wars, the waves of figures that we used to get had become a distant memory. My brother in Christ, my brother in the Force, my brother in the Force.
Does he think Hasbro or
there's never
Disney bought it in like 2018?
There's never been a wave of Black Series figures that hasn't been owned by Disney. Ever.
Even those original Orange Line.
The whole time.
Even those original Orange Line figures, the Disney logo was on the boxes.
On the box. No, they might not have been there when they were designing it and creating it. That's probably true because it takes a year. They bought it back in 2012.
Well, also those sales are in the works for a long time. It's not it's
for sure.
It's a week and they're like, oh, so
no, absolutely. So I will give you that first wave of figures. Probably Disney didn't create them, but they sure as hell had their name on the box when they shipped them out because it was still a Disney property at that time when you were buying it on shelves. Your first Black Series figure, whatever Black Series figure that was, Disney had their name on it. This is not a recent thing. It's bonkers that people just want to hate something and they want to pin it on Disney. They want to pin it on Kathleen Kennedy. They want to pin it. And it was the same back in the day with George Lucas. People have such short memories. People did not like George Lucas.
Yeah, everybody loves him now that he's gone. Everybody wants him back now.
South Park made a whole episode where George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were SAing a stormtrooper. Like they had him pinned over like a pinball machine and they were having their way with him because of how people viewed the prequels and the special editions at that time. This wasn't that long ago, but people's memories are so short that now that something they consider worse is here, they want to go back to something that they still didn't like at the time or still wasn't liked at the time. It was bonkers. It is bonkers. People have deluded themselves. Bad Batch is great.
Yeah.
Work it into those sequels, baby. Make me like the sequels even better. Make me like them. That's what happened with the prequels for me. I didn't like the prequels that much. Compared to the original trilogy, until the Clone Wars came through and fleshed stuff out for me. And I was like, oh, I do like Anakin better now that I've had more time with him and I haven't seen him as like just a whiny guy on screen. Because when you think about it, these movies, like a Star Wars movie is like 2.5 hours. You're watching at most Anakin Skywalker is on screen for let's say 45 minutes of the movie, maybe half the movie. Because there's a lot of other stuff happening. That's a small snippet of his life. You can only see so much in that time. So when you give us more content, you can flesh it out and see more of it. And I don't understand people, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah, but back to the Bad Batch. Season 3 has been absolute killer. They have knocked out season 3.
Season 3 is season 2 existed to set up season 3. I'll say that. It's like season 2 is the worst season of the 3 seasons. But
yeah, but we wouldn't be where we are without a lot of that feeling.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Also, the Batcher. Come on.
Oh, Batcher is sick.
I want a Batcher figure. Give me
Voiced by D. Bradley Baker also.
Give me Batcher.
Yeah, could you imagine an Omega and Batcher pack?
Oh,
That'd
man.
be sick, you know?
$39.99.
Season
3. I want a season 3 Omega, and I want a Batcher.
Yeah, I want a longer haired Omega. That'd be so good.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Yeah, she's a little taller, a little longer hair.
I do hope they don't make her force sensitive. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
I think she's going to, now that she's in that prison with those force sensitive kids,
Yep.
I think she's going to bring something out of them because she did, study under Gunji for a little bit.
Sure.
And obviously she went through a little bit of training with Asajj. I feel like she's going to know enough to she's going to have those kids in there closing their eyes and breathing, and they're going to connect with the force more, and it's going to help with their escape.
I think that's.
I don't think maybe that might not help with their escape, but that'll help with the kids when they are escaped, I guess, and she'll tell them. But I think she'll help them connect to the force at first.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have done this scene with, Asajj and all that if they weren't setting that up. In my opinion, at least, they could not do that. But I think it'd be really cool.
Well, and she definitely she's brought up Gunji in the season about what she learned. Maybe not
breathing
by name.
and all that.
Yeah, but so it's they're not ignoring the fact that she met up with Gunji, and that that's definitely part of her journey. So definitely can have a payoff. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with Emery, because they're definitely setting her up to be part of it. I feel like where they're she's a clone, she definitely has more of a kinship to, especially Omega, where she gave that little girl Omega's old doll.
Yep. I think Emery's gonna bite the dust whenever they're escaping.
You think so?
I think she's gonna help destroy the Tantus base, and she's gonna sacrifice herself in doing so.
So here's my question for you. After the last couple episodes, do you think that NX Trooper guy is secretly Tech?
It better not be. Don't bring Tech back. I think that'd be so dumb.
I didn't think it was until some of the words he chose when they were attacking that, or he called it a domicile and stuff. I'm like, those are Tech words.
Please don't make it Tech. I want his sacrifice to mean something. And if they just bring him back, I mean, come on. What do we?
Well, because there's a couple things that are just weird with what they've specifically brought up with, with
the glasses.
Well, with the glasses, but then also with Crosshair, where they're like, yeah, we tried to do this to him, but he was resistant to it. Where they tried to put him in the program or whatever, and what if Tech was hurt bad enough or whatever, where they could bring him back and he was amnesiac or something, and so they could put him through the system or whatever, so he doesn't have that same personality or whatever. It's just that's the only thing I could think of where they could do it. I mean, obviously they recovered his body because they got his glasses.
They got his glasses. Yeah. It would make sense if they did try to do something with him. Yeah. But
I don't want to, because
I just kind of hope he's dead. I feel like his sacrifice would be more meaningful, especially they're gonna bring him back, because if it's revealed, we have 2 episodes left, right?
Yep.
It'd be the last
3 episodes.
There's 15 total in the season.
You're right. No, you're right.
I think this last one was 13, right?
Yeah.
So
we have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I just feel like that's just so late to bring him back.
I agree.
We have to tell other stories. We have to get those clones off Tantus.
I feel like there's too much to wrap up.
I kind of don't understand. If this is the finale, I feel like this show has to lead into something, because if there's not a season 4 and then the finale is just going to be rescuing Omega again, and then getting those clones off Tantus. Like, that's it. Like, that's all we're doing. We're not,
Yeah.
and then destroying Tantus. But I feel like the show could have been bigger than that. So I was kind of hoping for a clone rebellion, So I feel like this show might lead into that, and then we'll get the new flagship animated show will maybe kind of tail Bad Batch.
Yeah, I was expecting us to get more of where the clones went, like, because there's obviously, by the time you get to the OT, even like Rebels, like, there's no clones anymore. Like, they're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only clones you see there are the old ones that are obviously
Boba
in hiding and stuff. Well, no, Boba, sure, but like I just mean like the Gregor,
like actual clones,
yeah, and Rex hanging out on the big thing, but they're old and
no, Mike, he's on Endor. Rex is on Endor. You see him in the movie.
Sure,
Nick Sant is not
Rebels,
real.
though.
Nick Sant is not real.
By the time you get to Rebels, is what I'm saying, is that there aren't, like, right now there's still a mixture of clones in with stormtroopers and whatnot.
Yeah,
and we're seeing that kind of in between clone trooper evolution of the TK trooper, which I love the design for.
Yeah, which Black Series figures we need. We need the TK trooper. We need Dr. Hemlock is a must.
Oh, for sure.
Rampart coming back was cool.
Rampart coming back was cool. I like the beard, but I don't need a figure of it.
I don't need a figure of the new
I don't need a
Rampart.
figure of it. Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the Cad Bane episode. That was sick. Sinister,
right.
too. When he stole the
Sinister,
baby.
very
He
sinister.
kidnapped that baby.
He stole a kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that line.
No remorse.
Where he tells Emery, he's like, asking questions like that reveals more about you than you think, or something like that. Like, that was a good line. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good appearance for him. And now they have this. They're putting Mandalorians. They're putting bounty hunters in classes. Like, we have class 1 or class A bounty hunter, whatever they're calling them.
Yeah.
Class C.
Right.
So I guess you get what you pay for. You pay for the best, or you pay for a class 7 bounty hunter, and you get one Jack, I guess, or those ones from Kenobi.
We were one Jack off.
Yeah, we were one Jack off away from class 6, class A bounty hunters. But do you have anything else for episode 69, or are you ready to wrap this one up?
I think I'm good, man. I think I got everything. I'm really enjoying Bad Batch. Can't wait to see how it ends. By the time we do our next episode, it will be over. It ends on the 1st. So we'll have our full thoughts on there when we do our next episode. Plus, we might not talk about Tales of the Empire because that drops on the 4th. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That drops on the 4th, doesn't it?
On the 4th,
literally on the day.
Yeah. So
live watch along. We'll do the whole season.
Yeah, live watch. Yeah, that definitely won't get us in trouble or anything, for sure.
But yeah, so follow Mike on the socials at Mike Case, pretty much everywhere. Trusty Sidekick on Instagram.
I've got
new videos.
2 YouTube videos you can go watch, and I made a TikTok you can go watch. The TikTok is about doing the little upgrade to Chrysanthemum to fix his shoulder.
Yeah, the shoulders.
So I made a little video of that. I made a sexy Super Battle Droid video on the TikTok, and then I've got 2 full videos on the YouTube. So go watch that stuff. I've made content. Go enjoy my content, please.
He's back on YouTube now, so go
back, baby.
Go check out the latest reviews. You can follow me on Instagram at blackseriescantina. You can follow me on TikTok at the Star Wars Black Series. Join our Facebook group. That's Black Series Cantina on Facebook. You got to answer a couple questions to get into that group. But if you're a Black Series collector, and obviously you are if you're listening to this podcast, I think everybody who listens to the podcast should definitely join that Facebook group if they use Facebook. Join Patreon if you want to support the podcast in a financial way. Next week we have Will Bond Super VIP show. He called it the Super Deluxe VIP repaint show next Thursday. So
I like it.
you can join us for that in the chat. Leave a review if you don't want to support financially. We definitely understand it. Listening to this podcast and leaving a review is just fine with us. We have merch, which me and Mike are representing on the podcast. If you want,
oh yeah, you can't see it if you're listening to it, but we're both wearing our Black Series Cantina t-shirts that we got from our shop.
But if you're on Patreon, you can see us.
And you get a little discount.
And you get a discount. Follow us on Twitter at TBS Cantina. I said join the Facebook group. That's Black Series Cantina. Shoot us an email, blackseriescantina@gmail.com. And we'll be live for everybody Saturday, May the 4th. Be with you. On May the 4th, we'll be live. We're going to do a Patreon exclusive watch along on the stream, potentially. And then we're going to do a live show for the entire public. So that's going to be open to everybody Saturday, May the 4th at probably 8 p.m. or so to recap all the reveals. Hopefully by the next time we do a podcast, we have that nice, sexy new Anakin to talk about. Let's hope that gets revealed. And the Palpatine. We need that nice, sexy episode 3 Palpatine.
We'll see. We won't have to wait long. Bye.